Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On ATL and at Mark Zinno, MarkZinno. This show is so fast moving. It's really fast paced, and we're actually going to catch somebody on the go today. See, we are going at speeds that people can't even comprehend. From the locker room on 680 Fan, it's our good buddy John Michaels here on A to Z. Lucas, he's just like he's so courteous to me that he decided to sit over on the side of the road and have a conversation with me. This is why I love you, man.
I did. I had to. I mean, I was driving. I didn't think that would be in good form. You know, people say you can't text and drive. I don't think doing a show and drive is really recommended either.
No, not at all. You know what? It's not recommended. Losing a game on a wild pitch and then blowing a 4-run lead in a 3-game series against the Brewers. Complete frustration at this point in time. Look, and I'm not asking for things to be perfect, but what I am saying here is simply that, you know, they've got to play a better brand of baseball the Atlanta Braves do at this point in time. I mean, look, you guys are as close to the team as anybody is the flagship. What's the sentiment sort of just around the team right now and how much they're struggling?
I think a big part of it, Mark, people are still going, you know what, we did this last year. And I think that is a very, very dangerous game to play right now. Because let's be honest, while we all expect the Mets to Met at some point in time, and that's collapse, get injured, deal with stuff. I know Max Scherzer was hurt last night. They're a good baseball team. And they now have a 7.5 game lead. Oh, by the way, the Braves are in 4th place. They've won 2 series so far, and we're about to hit June in another couple of weeks. It's not a good look for this team. And, you know, I use a funny analogy. It may have been Chris Rock that said it. Ham, no burger, peanut butter, no jelly. That's what this baseball team seems to be. You get great pitching over the weekend, give up 1 run, and lose a baseball game. Yesterday, you get some hitting off a really good pitcher in Corbin Burns. You have a 4-0 lead. You feel really good with Kenley Jansen on in the 9th, and you lose a baseball game. They've got to find a way to be consistent all the way around, and right now it's just not happening.
And the biggest problem for me, honestly, is the lineup. Like, just nobody, you know, playing to the back of the baseball card. Nobody's really doing that, and it's frustrating. So it's problematic from that standpoint.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you're talking about Matt Olson's now down around 240. Austin Riley has not played as well as he did a year ago. Ronald Acuna, you know, obviously coming back from a major injury, he's been in and out of the lineup. When he's there, he's a huge spark plug, but he hadn't been there every single day. Ozzy's been streaky. Dansby Swanson was really, really bad for the first month of the season. He's turned it around. And Marcell Ozuna, although the last 2 days he's hit a couple of home runs, he was hovering around 200. So I wish my weight was hovering around 200, not your batting average. That's not what you want.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for things to get better in Miami for the Braves, although I don't have a lot of hope. Miami's given the Braves a ton of fits over the last couple of years. It always seems to be a dogfight with that team. Let's get to the Atlanta Hawks. And then I want to move on to the NBA playoffs because I know that, you know, you and I have gone back and forth about the playoffs for years now. But, you know, the Hawks have a lot of challenges in front of them this offseason. And I still contend that I don't think that they can improve without a major roster-altering type move. Do you agree?
Totally agree. And here's the best thing that's come out of the NBA playoffs. You've now found 2 guys who are disgruntled. Donovan Mitchell wants out of Utah. I think that's pretty open and obvious. DeAndre Ayton, after playing 17 minutes in a closeout game, he seeming like he wants out of Phoenix. Yeah. Those are 2 guys that potentially could help you get better. Now, do I think Donovan Mitchell or DeAndre Ayton put you into the NBA Finals? Probably not. I think what needs to happen for the Atlanta Hawks is literally an organizational change, a philosophy change. And I'm not saying get rid of, you know, Travis Schlenk or get rid of Nate McMillan. They need to have an identity that we're going to be tougher and we're going to be stronger than we have been, because this team, you know, they talked all season. The regular season doesn't matter. Oh, we'll turn it on here. The teams that are left are all top 10 defensive efficiency. The Hawks were awful on defense. Go find me somebody along with a Donovan Mitchell that's going to be a defensive stopper. Tell Trae Young, you're going to learn to play defense, or we're going to pull you at certain times, and maybe then they're going to get better.
Yeah, and listen, I just said a moment ago that the name DeAndre Ayton really excites me. And I'd rather, you know, Donovan Mitchell, the problem is there's only one basketball, and you got 2 ball-centric guys in Donovan and Trae. So, like, that to me is a little bit, you know, Rudy Gobert is probably, if they're going to break it up, the guy that the Hawks want to go after. But I'm sure the Jazz can sort of hold him hostage at a higher price. But the Ayton thing is interesting just because he's so much younger. And you got somebody that can play with Trae for 5 to 7 years. You know, Gobert's 30. Like, yeah, what does he have? 2 or 3 more years left before we have to move on? And then again, you're searching for another big at some point in time. So the Ayton thing, and it was the first time I saw his name was in Chris Kirshner's column. Was it this morning or yesterday? But regardless, I mean, that to me would be a move that not only would energize the team, and again, I don't necessarily think it takes you from right now what I think is the sixth best team in the Eastern Conference. Maybe you're the fourth, but still, that's marked improvement. At least you're going to have home court advantage in a playoff series.
Yeah, you won't be playing the number one seed. You won't be in that stupid play-in round if you get to six or better. You should be better than Cleveland. You should be better than Charlotte. I know those teams were in the play-in round. But let's be real. Brooklyn is going to go all in again. You figure they get Ben Simmons back. Milwaukee's better than you. Philly's better than you. Miami's better than you. Boston's better than you. You got to have a major shakeup. DeAndre Ayton could be that kind of shakeup that gets you closer to that group than where you are right now.
You mentioned Ben Simmons. He was another name. Now, the Hawks were sort of involved in the talks with the Sixers, at least, they were being thrown out there as one of the interested teams. Does he interest you at all?
No. Mentally, he is so gone right now. And I know people are going to say he had real mental illness. He obviously is dealing with a back injury that he decided to have surgery on after the season. My problem is you sat out 82 games. If your back was that bad 3 months ago, you should have had surgery. You chose, you chose not to. You waited until the playoffs were over. The whole time telling us he was trying to come back. I want no parts of him. I think his game ended when he chose not to dunk a basketball against the Hawks in Game 7 a year ago.
Yeah, well, it was good for the Hawks, bad for Ben Simmons. It's all been downhill since. Let's talk NBA conference finals here. Listen, I will do the viewing audience a little bit of a favor here. Ready? I'm going to zoom. Well, I was going to do it for you, but since you're doing it, look, I gave you the whole screen to put your Miami Heat sweatshirt up there. I'll bring myself back in now. Now, full disclosure, I'm back in Boston tonight getting the 4. They outplayed Miami for 3 quarters. They had one bad quarter and it cost them. The story should be Jimmy Butler because him scoring 41 is, always. And I said it yesterday in the show. Like, I just wanted Jimmy Butler in my life. I wanted Jimmy Butler on every team that I root for. He's just like the best athlete and best teammate that you can have anywhere. And so I think Miami has a just a dog in this thing right here with Jimmy Butler. That said, I think Boston is probably the more talented team, despite the fact that Miami has the depth. How do you see Game 2 going?
A lot like Game 1. I think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown early on could probably get what they want. They are, I'll say it. Boston is a more skilled team. Probably number one, Jason Tatum's the best player on the floor most nights. Jimmy Butler would be number 2, and then you go to Jaylen Brown. But then when you go basically 3 through 9, they all may be Miami players when you go to Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. What we've realized, and anybody that's watched the NBA, the others, as I like to call them, the Max Struses, the Gabe Vincents, guys like that, they make shots when they're at home, and they normally don't make them on the road. We saw it in the Philly series. Danny Green was hitting shots like crazy in Philly. He got to Miami and couldn't throw it in the ocean, which is crazy because the ocean is really right next to the arena. I think the others from Miami will be fine. And PJ Tucker has become that leader that Miami, they have it in Jimmy Butler. But PJ Tucker in that third quarter just said, I don't care if my calf hurts, my foot hurts, and I'm old. I'm going to go play defense the way that it needs to be done. I think the Heat win tonight. They're going to win the series in 7. I think it is a 7-game series. Heat are going to win tonight as well.
All right. Can they just win by 3 or less? Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. They can win by 0.5 as long as they win.
Because good teams win and great teams cover. That's always the most important thing. By the way,
they did cover in Game 1. They covered in Game 1, so you should.
I know. Well, I'm not going to tell you I was on Boston, but that's neither here nor there. But look, I mean, it's weird when Miami's laying points at home, but yet Boston is a 2-1 favorite in the series. So I was trying to read the tea leaves there, and if they don't have the bad third quarter, I think Boston might have won that game. But we digress. Western Conference Finals. Luca, he's pretty good, isn't he?
He wasn't very good last night, though.
No, he wasn't. No. The Warriors got the best. Look, let me just bring it back to Atlanta for a second. And I know the conversation I've heard all around town, Luca versus Trey. Look, I've said this repeatedly. I've said this since day one. I think it's fair and objective to say Luca is the better all-around player, right? He just, from top to bottom, he's a better all-around player. He's probably going to win an MVP or 2. Trey Young is probably not unless he wins a scoring title by a considerable margin. That said, I still maintain Trey Young is a better fit for Atlanta than Luca. And sometimes fit supersedes talent.
Z, we were both on the game back at the time that they were getting ready to draft Trey and Luca. And I remember the conversation with fans going, I don't want some European that I've seen grainy video of. These are fan words, not mine. And none of us really knew how good Luca was going to be. We've heard Kristaps Porzingis coming from Europe was supposed to be the best thing ever. Didn't work out. Yet Dirk Nowitzki was. Tony Parker ended up being great. Yet you can find multiple examples.
Rubio.
Yeah, Ricky Rubio went before Steph Curry and is not 1/10 of the guy Steph Curry is. Culturally, everything that fit was Trae Young. Luca may be the better individual player, but I love the microwave that we live in. People are going crazy. Luca's in the Western Finals. Did we forget like 9 months ago Trae Young was in the Western Finals? And if he doesn't step on an official's foot in Game 5, he probably beats Milwaukee and goes to the NBA Finals. That's where they were at. So give Luca his props. They're going to get their ass bounced out, though. Golden State's going to take care of business in 6 against the Dallas Mavericks.
All right. Well, I mean, crazy to think that if Boston wins and Dallas wins, Dallas actually has home court advantage in the NBA Finals. Like, that's nuts.
You know what's crazy? I don't know who would have home court advantage between Miami and Golden State because they had the exact same record. And I haven't looked that far down the road because I'm just trying to hope that my Heat can get 3 more wins and get to the NBA Finals. I don't want to ask your boss if he's got any flight hookups and tickets to go watch the finals.
Yeah, not bad. It might be a worthwhile trip if we can organize it. Never a bad time in South Beach, to say the least.
No.
Are you having fun yelling at college football fans about name, image, and likeness?
Oh, my goodness. First of all, John Ruiz is actually my boy. I've gotten to know him a little bit on some different broadcasts. I'm trying to get him on the fan to talk about this. What I'm more enthused with, and you've been doing the show right now, the back and forth between Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I've never really been a big fan of Jimbo Fisher, but I'm a big fan of Jimbo Fisher now.
Listen, I mean, this is just step one in this getting ugly, right? And remember, these two guys used to coach together,
right?
It's opening up the closet time and letting all the skeletons out. Like, this is dangerous territory because once you fire that first shot, there's one coming back.
Well, and that was the problem. Saban fired it yesterday when he said, without proof, Texas A&M bought every single recruit in 2022. And Jimbo said it easily. He said, you know what? I know where the skeletons are buried. The best part of maybe the whole conversation, he goes, I don't even answer his phone calls anymore. Oh, when is that game? I think it's October 24th. Yeah. I got to have a couch and a beer.
It's in Tuscaloosa. Last year was at Kyle Field when they actually beat them. So, listen, the build-up for college football, always fantastic, and can't wait for it to get here. Absolutely. Listen, brother, I appreciate the time. Thanks for making it for us today. I know you're a very busy man. You guys can check out John Michaels every morning on 680 The Fan on The Locker Room. Good to talk to you as always, bud. Stay well.
Anytime, Z.
All right. Take a time out. Come back. You'll hear some more of those fiery comments from Jimbo Fisher right here next on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta.